Plenty news, plenty news. Mm. Yes, good morning and welcome back to the Football Tribe UD channel. Robert Kesakos is your usual suspect. I hope you're doing well. I hope you're having a wonderful morning. It's a Thursday morning. Yes, it's a beautiful Thursday morning down in Kampala, Uganda. It's about a quarter to the top of the hour of 11. We're coming a bit late because we still are setting up some content, uploading some content for you guys. That's what caught me up to be a bit late for this particular broadcast. But it's good to be back. It's good to have you back. Mm. Hope all of you are having a wonderful morning. I want to say thank you to Chris Nkosi, part of last night's broadcast, part of the engagement, among others. For those that have not singled out, do not take any offense because your efforts are equally appreciated in as far as your contributions to this channel are concerned. And then who else? There's somebody whose name I forget. They were from India. They did join us for a good amount of time, all for yesterday's broadcast, late in the night, as we also continue to follow. That's the proceedings from the first semi-finals of the UEFA Nations League. So, anyways, it's beautiful to be back. I hope you guys are doing well. I hope you're all right. This beautiful Thursday morning, some entertaining action for us last night. Happy to be with you guys. For those of you that did join us, especially as the second half went on, we were live while the second half went on. It was more like a watch along, but not at the full strength of a watch along. Like I did acknowledge, I did have a time lapse between my feed and the real sort of feed from the game, but we managed to follow the proceedings from that game. As Portugal beat up against Germany for the first time, I think, since 2000, to advance to the finals of the UEFA Nations League, a competition that they did win in 2019. So quite impressively, really. They had to grind it out, coming from a goal down to go on to win the accolade. In 2019, they did beat up against another gigantic nation to go on to win the competition. So we're going to be discussing the UEFA Nations League. We're going to be discussing Manchester United and Mbeumo. We're going to be talking a little bit about Liam Delap and as well as Jack Grealish, yes, at Manchester City. So then we'll also speak about Liverpool's interest in Newcastle, in a Newcastle star. So keep it locked on the Football Tribe YouTube channel, and I'll bring you up to date on the very latest from that regard. But anyways, let's kick things off at the UEFA Nations League, where we are destined for a final on Sunday, and Portugal, who are already in the final at the expense of Germany, who will now be playing in the third place playoff. They do wait tonight to find out who their opponent is, or will be for the third place playoff, just as much as Portugal will be waiting to find out who their opponent will be in the final of the same competition. The game in itself, it was a fair game. The first half, I thought Portugal started on the front foot. They had about 2 or 3 chances in the first half, one falling to Cristiano Ronaldo, but his left foot wasn't strong enough to trouble Andre Marc ter Stegen in goal. And then you had Pedro Neto miss an opportunity when he sort of went on a one-man attack in that play. On the other side, Diego Costa was forced, I think, into brilliant saves in the first half. I think Leon Goretzka being one of those that did force him into a save. But anyways, the first half did end in a goalless draw. It was No side could manage to break the deadlock, and yet only 3 minutes into the second half, it took Florian Wirtz to open the scoring thanks to a Joshua Kimmich assist, as Portugal were caught trying to build out from the back, and they were caught out of possession, and Germany went on to find the back of the net through the 22-year-old Bayer Leverkusen player who is a target for Liverpool in Florian Wirtz. There he was done, I think, shot number 7 on the night. So Joshua Kimmich was wearing the captain's armband for Julian Nagelsmann's German side. So beautiful action we did witness last night. So and then you thought German being at home, because the game was in Munich, just as much as the final will be, and of course subsequently the semi-final as well. They are the host nation for this for the competition, in as far as the semi-finals and the finals subsequently are concerned. And remember, they also previously did host the 2024 Euro competitions that were won by Spain, beating England in the final by 2-1. So I thought once Germany went ahead, they continued to be the better side for certain spells of the game, but Portugal were able to find their way back into the game, because it took Francisco Conceição, who did come on in the second half as a substitute for, I think, Trincao, to replace Trincao, to score a brilliant goal there to restore parity for Roberto Martinez's side, thanks to an assist by Ruben Dias. He went on a very long run he went on a good run before putting that ball into the back of the net. And then just 5 minutes, that was in the 63rd minute, and then just 5 minutes later, Cristiano Ronaldo was on target. That's the Portuguese national team captain, as he gave Portugal the lead, thanks to an assist by Nuno Mendes. It was a simple tap-in for the 40-year-old Al Nassr player there, and that eventually turned out to be the match-winning goal of the game, as Cristiano Ronaldo, at the age of 40, scored his, I think, 937th career goal. The objective is for him to reach 1,000 career goals before he retires. Whether he will be able to achieve that remains to be seen, but at least he's about 65 goals, maybe perhaps, or 63 goals shy of that target. But it was a simple goal. Again, he did play with reservation of energy when it came to leading the press. I didn't think he was quite effective in that. I do not think he still has the energy in him, or the pace and the athleticism to sort of lead the press in a vigorous way, in a way that you see other players who would lead that kind of press, the way you've seen Sadio Mane in years gone by, Fabinho do it at Liverpool, the way you've seen Gabriel Jesus do it over the years, the way you've seen Martin Odegaard do it at Arsenal, the way you've seen Bruno Fernandes try to do it himself at Manchester United, the way you sort of see those players who try to lead the press, the way you see AFC Bournemouth, whether it's through Evan Nilsson or Antoine Semenyo or whoever, the way they sort of go for that quick press as soon as the team starts to build up from the back. I thought Germany were comfortably doing the build up from the back, because Cristiano Ronaldo could not provide that threat of putting on quite an energetic press in regards to trying to win the ball back in as far as the game was concerned. But anyways, it finished 2-1 in favor of Portugal, and they did advance to the finals of the UEFA Nations League. This is going to be their second final, as the competition is in its fourth season or fourth edition. They did win the inaugural edition, that was 2018, 2019, or 2019, as they beat, I think, Netherlands by 1-0 in the finals. So they do seek to win this competition. Remember, the competition started at the backdrop of the 2016 Euros, or European Championships. And the idea was, or the competition was introduced as a third European World Competition or international competition, to try and get rid of the FIFA, international friendlies, which teams thought there was nothing or much to play for, and that kind of thing. So that is why they decided to adopt the UEFA Nations League. So instead of playing international friendlies, they do group these teams and then they play the UEFA Nations League, which has been previously won by the likes of France, by the likes of Spain, who are the current title holders, having won it in 2023, beating Croatia 5-4 on penalties in the finals that were hosted in Netherlands, while in 2020-2021, Italy were the host nation for the finals, and France won those by beating Spain by 2-0 in the final. So really, really quite impressive. Portugal will be seeking to win their third trophy in a space of about what? In a space of about let me see, nearly 10 years or under 10 years, because they won the Euro 2016 when they beat up against France by 0-0 in the finals. That goal scored in extra time by Eder to win it 1-0. You remember Cristiano Ronaldo suffering an injury in that game, but they managed to go on and win the competition. So they won it, and then in 2019 they won the UEFA Nations League. Of course, we all know that the Euro 2020 that was played in 2021 was won by Italy, and then the subsequent edition, or the most recent edition of the 2024, was won by Spain. Speaking of Spain, those are in action tonight against France. But before we move on to that French side, I found the starting lineup for Portugal, particularly Portugal, a bit odd, because my expectation had been that Vitinha would start. Of course, he did come on for Ruben Neves, but my expectation was that he would start alongside João Neves as they played together at PSG. We're talking about the UEFA Champions League finalists and winners. But João Neves was played at right back. Of course, that was ahead of Nelson Semedo, who usually plays at right back. And I was monitoring some comments in the online chat about how it is such a waste of talent by Roberto Martinez to play João Neves at right back. But well, he did play well, I thought, at least. And then Nuno Mendes got to start the game. I thought he was quite good. Ruben Diaz, equally good. And then Bernardo Silva, I wasn't so impressed. Ruben Neves, not really. Francesco Trincao, not really. Bruno Fernandes, it was that kind of performance for him. And then maybe Pedro Neto, yes, he sort of had a good game, especially in the first half there. And then Cristiano Ronaldo, because he did what he ought to have done, simply score, and the rest is, history. On the side of Germany, I was sort of impressed by Jonathan Tah in that back three of Germany. I thought he was quite impressive, really. So basically, that was it. I thought Leroy Sané was underwhelming in his performance. That's why I wouldn't hope that Arsenal do go on to sign him. But in manner of speaking, in terms of statistics, it was Germany that dominated possession with a total of 53% as compared to Portugal's 47%. So that tells you how close the game was in terms of overall balance. So anyways, allow us to move on from that particular game and move to the second final that will be played tonight between Spain and France at 10 p.m. East African time. And on that note, therefore, our live broadcast won't be coming at 10 sharp. It will be coming after the first half of that game. So we'll look to start at about 10:50 p.m. For our live broadcast, unless otherwise. But that is the expectation. So when you look at Spain, they are the reigning European champions. So I think they do come in this game with sort of the advantage and the pedigree. We're talking about 3-time European championships. Champions in recent history, having won the competition, that is the Euros, in 2008, and then won it in 2012. Of course, I think in 2008, being under the charges of Vicente Del Bosque, as well as the World Cup, they went on to dominate football on the international scene for that spell between 2008 and 2012, winning the World Cup in between there. And of course, in the World Cup 2014, we remember them being embarrassed. I think they lost to Netherlands by 4-1, Was it 4-1? I stand to be corrected on the perfect score or the correct score of that game. But you remember Robin van Persie scoring that flying header, but Spain never made it out of the group stages. That notwithstanding, fast forward, they won the 2024 Euros. So it's quite a very good team. On the other side, France are equally a very brilliant team, although I think their midfield may sort of fall short of competitiveness as far as this particular game is concerned. But our expectation is that Athletic Bilbao's Unai Simon will be in goal for Spain. Oscar Mingueza, Pau Kubasi, Dean Hausen, Marco Cucurella to complete that back four, while Pedri is expected to start alongside Fabian Ruiz, and ahead of that double pivot or that duo in the central midfield will be Lamine Yamal, Dani Olmo, and Nico Williams, as well as Alvaro Morata. So keep your eyes peeled on that, because Luis de la Fuente will be in charge of this Spanish side versus Didier Deschamps of France, who we do expect to start with Mike Mainan, that's the AC Milan goalkeeper, then Lucas Hernandez, the AC Milan defender, and then Ibrahim Konate of Liverpool in that backline, because William Saliba does not make it to the starting lineup because he concluded the season with what was feared to be hamstring injury. Lucas Digne of Aston Villa could also make the starting 11, as well as Malo Gusto of Chelsea. Aurelio Tchouameni in that midfield, alongside Manu Kone and Adrien Rabiot for the midfield trio, while ahead of them could be Michael Olise, Kylian Mbappe, and perhaps Ousmane Dembele. Although do not be surprised if it is Desli Doué or if it is Rando Kolo Muani, if it is Marcus Thuram, because they do have quite the players. If it is Bradley Bacola, really. But let's keep our sights on that, because Alvaro Morata on the other side is expected to lead Luis de la Fuente's, Spain in regards to that front line or the striking line. So what is my prediction? I'm thinking that Spain nick this one by 2-1. That is my prediction anyways. Do give me your predictions down in the comment section if you do know a thing about this particular competition. Anyways, quickly, because today we want to keep this broadcast brief. Quickly, let's move away from the UEFA Nations League and speak Man United, because the Red Devils did make a bid yesterday of about 55 million pounds for the signing of Bryan Mbeumo from Brentford. Now, the opening bid is worth 55 million pounds, with 45 million pounds being the guaranteed fees and 10 million pounds to be expected in add-ons. It is reported that Brentford will be turning down that initial bid, as they try to use Matthias Cunha's 62.5 million sort of purchase from Wolverhampton Wanderers by Manchester United as the benchmark for their negotiating tactics, because they do want a similar fee. Our reports also do suggest that they could start at an asking price of 70 million pounds, but that would be sort of negotiable. So, but the opening bid for Man United is worth about 55 million pounds. In as far as the second bid is concerned, if it is to come, I wouldn't be surprised if Man United simply make it keep it at 55 million pounds, but then increase on the guaranteed fees. Perhaps make it 50 million pounds guaranteed fees and then 5 million pounds in expected add-ons. Usually clubs tend to play that tactic. And Jason Wilcox will be really key, or be playing a part in these negotiations, as Manchester United's new director of football, having been promoted from director of the academy. So among some of the changes that Sir Jim Ratcliffe has implemented at Manchester United this summer, including the club restructuring that they are undergoing through in the wake of some of the redundancies or some letting go of some of the club staff. So that is to be expected. So Man United really keen on the 25-year-old Cameroon international, who scored 20 Premier League goals and provided 7 assists last season. Of course, the player himself is keen on joining the Red Devils. He did say he does prefer to go to Old Trafford as opposed to the likes of Arsenal, Newcastle, and Tottenham Hotspur, who were all reported to have interest in the Cameroon forward, including Chelsea, that had been certainly mentioned in some of those conversations. It is also reported that he will command or ask for £250,000 per week in weekly wages, a fee that Manchester United could be open to paying. That is according to Alex Cross of Alex Cross of TalkSport. So, I mean, £250,000 sounds a little high, especially for a club like Manchester United that are trying to manage their expenses, that are trying to get rid of Jadon Sancho, who is on 300 grand a week, and that kind of thing. So, I find it a little high, although some sources have indicated that it could be maybe £230,000 per week, but it's almost the same difference. So he potentially could be looking to quadruple his wages because currently, apparently, he is earning £40,000 per week at Brentford. He's had quite a tremendous season. Him in his partnership with Yuan Visa or Yuan Wisa, depending on how you pronounce the name. So that's Yuan Visa does play for the Democratic Republic of Congo. So that's the news coming out of Manchester United. Although they do remain in the market for a primo striker, having lost out on Liam Delap, who has since joined Chelsea. Speaking of Liam Delap, yesterday Chelsea did announce the signing of Liam Delap from Ipswich Town in a deal worth about £30 million because they did activate that release clause. It is reported that £20 million is will be the first installment that will be paid up front, while the 10 will come in add-ons. Remember, Man City, that's his parent club, or his where he was as an academy player, did have a sell-on clause in that 30 million release clause. So they'll get a percentage of that. But Ipswich Town also did insert an sort of a percentage over his future sale. On his future sale, they do have a percentage share should Chelsea move the player on in the coming years. He did put pen to paper on a 6-year contract with the Blues, and he did say he wants to win major trophies with Chelsea as they continue to get back to the top where he thinks that they do belong. That's for the 22-year-old England international who scored 12 Premier League goals with Ipswich Town last season. So that's the latest from Chelsea. Chelsea also remain in negotiations with Eintracht Frankfurt over the signing of Hugo Ekitike, who is valued at about 100 million euros. Hugo Ekitike, one of the standout performers in the German Bundesliga last season, is quite on high demand, with Liverpool also reportedly interested in the services of Hugo Ekitike. So let's keep our eyes on that deal as well, because Chelsea did firm up their interest in the player who scored 15 goals and provided 8 assists. That's a 23-goal contribution in 33 appearances last season for Eintracht Frankfurt. So Chelsea fans, stay glued on the Football Tribe YouTube channel, and we will be sure to keep you abreast on the latest on that deal as well. But Liverpool also do hold interest. However, as of this morning, Liverpool are also being reported that they could rival Arsenal for the signing of Benjamin Sesko, as they are also in the market for a striker, considering that they are open to letting go of Darwin Núñez. So that's part of the latest from the Chelsea camp, as well as Man United in regards to their summer plans. Chelsea also do remain in negotiations with AC Milan over French goalkeeper, that is Mike Maignan or Mianan, depending on how you pronounce the name. So the 29-year-old is reportedly has only a year left to his contract, and Chelsea do value the goalkeeper at about 10 million euros, although it is being reported that AC Milan are asking for a fee in the region of 30 million euros if they are to let go of their captain, who did help them win the Scudetto in 2022 under the charges of Stefano Pioli, who has been at Al Nassr, who is currently at Al Nassr in the Saudi Pro League. So again, we'll keep eyes on that story as well and see where it does lead down the pipeline. Then let's move on into some of the gossip or some of the transfer speculation that is making the rounds. Aston Villa are reported to become one of the latest clubs to show interest in 25-year-old England international Jadon Sancho, who, following his return to Manchester United after a season-long loan at Chelsea. So we all know that Aston Villa have a good relationship with Man United, having been able to take Marcus Rashford on loan in January this year. So let's wait and see if they will firm up that interest with an offer for the England international. But I can almost guarantee that there is no Premier League club or European club that could offer to pay him the kind of wages that he is on at Manchester United at the moment. Then Newcastle have made Burnley goalkeeper James Trafford their primary target for this summer. The 22-year-old goalkeeper has attracted interest from not just Newcastle, but also other teams. I think he did join Burnley from Manchester City at the time when Vincent Kompany was still the manager or the head coach at Burnley. Remember, Burnley did sort of return to the Premier League through direct promotion, thanks to the efforts of somebody remind me his name, the manager for Burnley. He was formerly at Bournemouth. I'm forgetting his name. Somebody remind me his name. It is slipping out of my mind. But if you do remember him, do let me know what his name is. That's the Burnley manager. He did guide Bournemouth to promotion into the Premier League, and then he was fired. So I'm trying to find what's his name. Scott Parker, yes, the former Fulham midfielder, also did have a stint at Tottenham Hotspurs. Scott Parker, very, very decent player back in the days. Anyways, so Scott Parker does not want to let go of James Trafford. Very, very good young goalkeeper, by the way. Good shot stopper, good with his feet, and that kind of thing. Anyways, that's according to the Times, or as well as the Athletic. Then Liverpool are not looking to sell a Colombian winger Luis Diaz amid his interest from Barcelona and Saudi Pro League side Al Nassr. That's according to the Times. He has 2 years left to his current contract. That's for the Colombian international, but should be as Newcastle's £80 million rated England winger Anthony Gordon, 24, is being closely considered as a replacement by Liverpool. Remember, Arsenal are also seriously interested in Anthony Gordon. Yes, they do have interest in Alexander Isak and Anthony Gordon, that pair from Newcastle, but not so far back ago. I did read a story, I think it was on the Telegram, saying that there is no way that Newcastle duo Anthony Gordon and Alexander Isak would move to Arsenal, because it would literally cost them their entire summer budget if they were able to prize the duo from Newcastle. But also, the story did wonder why they would sort of seek to more or less downgrade or end up at the same level, looking at the Newcastle project that won the Carabao Cup last season, and yet Arsenal ended up trophyless. So we did wonder why they would move to Arsenal, a team that they did beat 3 times last season, twice in the semi-finals of the Carabao Cup and once in the Premier League. So really, really interesting story there. And then Arne Slot's Liverpool are also set to compete with Arsenal for the signing of Benjamin Sesko from RB Leipzig, with the 22-year-old Slovenian striker subject to a £67 million bid from the Gunners. Now, I've yet to hear of a bid being made by Arsenal for Benjamin Sesko, but we'll keep our eyes peeled on that as well. But that's according to TBR Football. Then Harvey Elliott is most likely to join Serie A club if the English midfielder leaves Liverpool this summer. Remember, Harvey Elliott has been subject to transfer speculation with interest from Nottingham Forest, Leeds United, as well as Bayer Leverkusen, who apparently wanted to include him as part of the negotiations for with Liverpool for Florian Wirtz. But then the most recent reports did indicate that it won't be possible for Harvey Elliott to join Bayer Leverkusen, but we can never say never. We will have to wait and see how those negotiations proceed forward. Then Everton would have to match Tiano Barry's release clause of 40 million euros. That's 33.7 million pounds to sign the French striker from Villarreal. And then Chelsea are unwilling to pay the 25 million pounds for AC Milan goalkeeper. That's Mike Mianan, the one we just spoken about. That's according to the Standard. And then Brentford will look to appoint Ipswich boss Ian McKenna if their current manager Thomas Frank leaves to replace Ange Postecoglou at Tottenham. Now, Ange Postecoglou's future is to be decided this week, according to reports from the UK, whether to fire him or to stick with him. I think Tottenham Hotspurs do find themselves in the kind of position that Manchester United found themselves in last summer, contemplating on whether to sack Erik ten Hag at the time or to have him stay. And United chose to have Erik ten Hag stay, but then subsequently fired him in November. So that's where they do find themselves at, because Erik ten Hag had helped United win the FA Cup in 2024, beating up against Manchester City by 2 goals to 1 in the finals. And here we are talking about Ange Postecoglou, who just helped Tottenham Hotspurs win their first major trophy since 2008. That's in 17 years, as they beat Manchester United by 1-0 to win the UEFA Europa League title. So they do find themselves in a similar bit of a conundrum there in regards to the future of their own manager in Ange Postecoglou. Then West Ham have contacted Club Rouge about the signing of 24-year-old Nigerian midfielder Rafael Onyendika, but first competition from AC Milan, while Manchester City and Barcelona have both expressed an interest in Arsenal's 15-year-old midfield prospect Max Dowell. That's according to Football Transfers. Now, Max Dowman. Now, Max Dowman will be joining Arsenal on their pre-season camp because he's one of the youngsters that they are really looking forward to from the Arsenal Academy. Of course, he couldn't come on last season because he was underage. That's why he never got the chance to feature for Arsenal. Excuse me. But for a very, very long time, he was training with the senior team of Arsenal. And Mikel Arteta is looking forward to integrate him into the playing senior squad for next season. So yeah, those are some of the reports I'm making, the ones in as far as transfers are concerned. Of course, Manchester City are on the verge of sealing a deal for Tijani Reinders, Ryan Cherki, as well as Ryan Atinori from AC Milan, Lyon, and Wolverhampton Wanderers, respectively. That's for the midfielder Tijani Reinders, attacking midfielder or slash winger in Ryan Cherki, as well as the left back in Ryan Atinori, but also remain keen on signing Tino Livramento from Newcastle. They are also monitoring the situation with Xavi Simons at RB Leipzig. So we will keep our eyes on that as well. So and see where the conversation does lead. So let's wait. Let's wait and see. Let's wait and see. Now, Arsene Wenger was speaking to his former goalkeeper David Seaman on a podcast, and he was asked about who Arsenal's #1 target should be this summer. David Seaman said, it was not a podcast. It was a private conversation between David Seaman and Arsene Wenger. And so David Seaman says, I had a dinner with Arsene Wenger about 3 weeks ago. I asked him, you're the boss, who would you sign this summer? And straight away he said, Isak, Alexander Isak. Let's all remember that Alexander Isak was Arsenal's primary target for a striker this summer, although with Newcastle having qualified to play in the Champions League next season, that deal would be too expensive for the Gunners to pull off, bearing in mind that the player still has 3 years left of his current contract. And he is on quite very high wages. And then in a sort of sad memory today, today marks 8 years since Ismail Chak Tiote did pass away at the age of 30, quite tragically. The former Newcastle star. Arsenal fans do remember him quite a bit because he was one of the goal scorers in their 4-4 draw at, I think, St. James's Park, was it? So that's the sad reminder for today. And then, of course, we'll keep you updated on much of the news streaming through. Liverpool are close to signing Milos Kakes after, and because they are close to agreeing on a 40 million pound deal for the 21-year-old Hungarian left back. That's according to reports. So we'll keep our eyes on that as well. Then Liam Delap will be wearing the shirt number 9 at Chelsea. Then Newcastle United confirmed Spanish winger Antonio Cordero will join on July the 1st when his contract at Malaga expires. The plan is for the 18-year-old to be sent out on loan this summer. There you have it. And then I think we've spoken about Jason Wilcox at Manchester United because they did have some restructuring, and he is now the director of football at Manchester United. Then Simone Inzaghi was officially unveiled as the new Al Hilal head coach on a 2-year contract with an option to extend for a further year. He will be earning about 26 million euros per season. So that deal is equally confirmed, and he will be leading Al Hilal out for the FIFA Club World Cup. And then I'm trying. Yes. The other key story is Victor Osimhen. Victor Osimhen is a primary striking target for Al Hilal after getting approval from Simone Inzaghi. I do understand that they've offered him a 30 million euro per season wage with bonuses on top. That's as revealed in April, but he's yet to say yes to the offer because he also has another offer from Galatasaray, although almost just half the kind of annual wages. He did spend last season at Galatasaray and scored 26 goals and made 8 assists in 29 appearances for Galatasaray. So he was quite impressive in that in his debut season in Italy. So let's keep our eyes on that as well. And then of course, yeah, that's the gist of the news. Maybe Kevin De Bruyne also, that deal is yet to be confirmed, but it's edging closer. Paperwork is being signed between the two parties, between Napoli and Kevin De Bruyne, to join Napoli. So we will wait and see on how things transpire. Anyways, that's it from us today here on Football Tribe UG. But before I sign out, I want to remind you that if you are interested in learning some digital skills like coding, web design, cybersecurity, then do not hesitate to check out our colleagues or our friends at Ebo State, based in Kansanga, Kampala. We offer both in-person and online digital skills training sessions with career guidance, but also help their trainees find jobs in the dynamic digital space. I'll leave the link down in the description so that you can check them out at your most time of ease, and because they do have even a 5% discount for you, offer for you in case you are interested in getting those skills, either in coding or cybersecurity or web design. So do check them out. Go check out their programs and see. They could really interest you. Otherwise, it's been a pleasure having you this morning. Allow me to wish you a wonderful rest of the day. Do not forget to watch all our content. There is some content already out there under our shorts section. We'll be looking to do to put out more content, possibly today or tomorrow. There's a video I want to complete about Arsenal in regards to certain issues regarding their squad. Yesterday, they did confirm, of course, the departure of Raheem Sterling, who will be returning to Chelsea following his unsuccessful season-long loan at Arsenal. Then they did confirm the departures of Kian Tierney, who will be returning to Celtic, Jorginho, who is joining Flamingo, among so many other young academy youngsters. But they also did confirm that they are in talks with Thomas Partey over renewing his contract with the Gunners for the to see. So let's wait and see what will come out of those discussions. But Gabriel Magalhaes has agreed to extend his contract at Arsenal until June 2030, while Bukayo Saka, William Saliba, Miles Lewis Kelly, and Ethan Nwaneri are the others whose contracts they are equally trying to renew. So looks like there's plenty of work to be done by the new sporting director in Andrea Bata, who also does continue with negotiations between RB Leipzig and Sporting Lisbon for the signing of Benjamin Sesko or Victor Gyökeres at the moment. Stay blessed and have yourselves a wonderful rest of the day. Bye-bye.